This is Eye on Pennsylvania, a bi-weekly look at Pennsylvania politics from the House Democratic Caucus.
Buying a pet, one of the most rewarding decisions a person can make. But if you're not a careful consumer, the decision to bring an animal into your home could have disastrous results that might reach further than you'd think.
These dogs end up into our community. Many times they end up with people that can't afford the vet care or the behavioral care that's necessary to help these dogs, and then they end up at the shelter.
Amy Connis is the executive director of the Harrisburg Humane Society. She says puppy mills are a real problem in our state and something that potential pet buyers need to be aware of.
Typically in a puppy mill, animals are not properly taken care of. They usually aren't receiving proper veterinary treatment. They need to have access to food and water, and they're bred repetitively.
So what should you do if you think you visited a puppy mill?
What we encourage people to do is, if they've seen something at a puppy mill or what they're calling a puppy mill, like not access to food and water, extremely dirty conditions, dead animals in amongst live animals, something like that, we're asking them to call us and report it.
Connis also says that if you think you've purchased a puppy mill pet, you may be entitled to protection under state law.
If you've purchased a dog from a commercial breeder or what you think might be a puppy mill and the dog is sick, you do have certain rights under Pennsylvania's Puppy Lemon Law.
The Puppy Lemon Law, or the Dog Purchaser Protection Act, requires the breeder to provide all proper documentation and a clean bill of health. Under the law, if a veterinarian examines your pet 10 days after purchase and your pet dies or becomes ill, you can return the dog for a complete refund, return the dog for another, or keep the dog and receive reimbursement for medical bills. Connis says the best way to protect yourself is by doing your research. Visit the breeder and make sure you see the animal's mother, father, and living conditions. Know your rights and proactively search for the right breeder and the right pet for you.
At the end of the day, sometimes it's a gut instinct. You know, if you don't feel something's right, ask more questions, push a little bit harder, but that's your right as a consumer. You are making a major purchase, and I think you're gonna have a better overall experience if you do that homework and that research up front.
Across the state, animal activists and concerned citizens are rallying for tighter restrictions that will ultimately put puppy mills out of business. Now, they recently brought their fight to the state capitol, where they were joined by lawmakers who want to crack down on these dangerous underground operations.
We need your help. Call your legislator, talk to your local papers, talk to your communities, talk to your local breeders. Cruel, inhumane, uncivilized treatment of dogs no longer stands in Pennsylvania.
It's come to our attention that under current law, dog owners with no formal training are able to personally conduct serious medical procedures on dogs. These procedures are often done without sanitation, without anesthetics. There's infections and tremendous pain, and often death.
We're going after those people that stack dogs 12 and 15 high in a cage with wire floors and let excrement run down on every other single dog beneath it without any care or any attention.
In my county, there are over 200,000 dog owners, and I'm one of them. And when I was brought to my attention these conditions and I saw the suggested changes to regulations, to me it was a no-brainer. We had to do something to improve the conditions that they're living in.
I believe the treatment of the dogs in the puppy mills has been atrocious. Oprah Winfrey has done us a service to really shine a light on how Pennsylvania puppy mill breeders have been treating the dogs, and it's just been terrible.
We certainly wouldn't want that happening to us, and we shouldn't impose that on our pets as well.
These regulations aren't going to put anybody out of business. They're not going to say that we can't breed dogs. Of course we want to, because a lot of people want to own dogs, but it should be done in a humane manner.
Responsible owners and breeders always put the welfare of their dogs first.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Eye on Pennsylvania. More information on how you can aid in the fight against puppy mills is just a few clicks away on PAHouse.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.